Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Now, we are joined by Arwin, Neil, the Adam Meakin, Brian's Logic, Sleeping Warrior, Chocolate Sane, Refracted Curvature, and a whole bunch of people in Gilded. So welcome, one and all.
Hola.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Afternoon.
Yo.
1 hour late.
Yo.
1 hour late on the live stream because of a RAM and iGPU encoding issue, which I've bored everyone to death on the pre-show, so I won't rehash it now. And the reason we've just got the scanning map radar thing with UFO and numbers going either side of it is because I've cobbled this together to see if it was actually what I suspected, and the recording immediately worked. So anybody who's listened to this from the beginning of the recording will be going, yeah, this didn't have a very good start. Like, you weren't really enthusiastic about it because I thought it wouldn't work. But my fix did actually instantly work, and now we've got a live stream and a recording, Adam, all working at the same time. Hopefully for the rest of the live stream and for the rest of eternity of the live stream that we have after this one. Anyway. Indeed. So let's do a bit of housekeeping with a decent stream actually going out to the audience. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon, formerly known as the curve of the Earth? Let me get to the end of the question. You did this last time. I've delisted that show, although it went out in terrible quality. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge that's a horizon formerly known as the curve of the Earth?
No. Well, they tell you if you climb a tree, a tall tree, you'll be able to see it. I've not tried it yet.
If you climb a tree, you what?
Expect to see the
That's a new one.
horizon.
Hold on, Owen.
Sorry.
Say that again. One deck.
Yeah, if you, I was Googling this, and one of the options it tells you if you do some research, it's telling people if you climb a tree, you will be able to see the curve of the Earth. That's what it tells you when you research it.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It says literally just climb a tree, see curve. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen
Thanks.
Really?
Well, see, the problem is surface level is getting in the way of the refracted horizon. If only we could see through the Earth.
Sorry. Did Neil deGrasse Tyson point out that even at really big heights, you don't see curve on this beach ball? I mean, you don't get to see the curve at any height, pretty much.
You just have to find a tree that's taller than 120,000 feet.
Yeah, you need to find the right tree.
Sure, but the curve that he's saying contextually in that discussion when he slaps the beach ball and said that stuff is flat, he's talking about left to right curvature not being visible as you raise in altitude. But the way the Earth curve is qualified is being a geometric limitation to your view as you look out. Now, the way it'll be represented on the paper is with you in side view, looking at the side of your own head and a line drawn with a curved Earth edge getting in the way of something in the distance. But the photo that'll be put next to it in real life will be something with the bottom claimed to be obscured, occulted by a hill called Earth curve getting in the way. Not left to right that you would or wouldn't see at any altitude. You'd definitely see it at altitude if Earth was a sphere. The moment you rose off it, it'd start to curve because it's claimed to be a ball. Balls get more bally the higher you go. That's
below surface level, though, what you're describing. So that happens below surface level.
So what John's pointing out is in the mathematics.
What?
Yeah, this is a really good point.
Below surface?
Yes. Look at
What?
Mick West's maths. Go to Metabunk and look at the two lines coming out. One that runs parallel to the eye with the ground, labelled and marked in the maths as surface level. Now, below that tangent plane, marked as surface level in the maths, necessitated for the maths, you have an Earth curve edge horizon falling away from that point. As you'd imply, it's a tangent, right? tangent to your feet or your eye, with an eye line parallel to it at surface level. Well, that has the globe Earth dingleberry dangling beneath it. So what John's saying is, when you describe the Earth curve edge getting in the way, all of that is taking place below surface level in the maths.
Now, hold on. That's below the flat Earth surface level, the actual surface level.
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah, globe Earth
Oh,
mathematically
okay, fair
exists
enough.
below the flat Earth surface level that we actually navigate.
Okay, now it
Fascinating, eh?
makes sense.
Say again?
That's why we
But
can't see it.
Yeah.
that checks out because the geometric horizon only exists in the map. So in the map, you can do whatever you want.
And it would exist below surface level in the maths.
That's not
But you
true.
can
Brian.
point at it, though.
Also,
can
the
point,
refracted-
You can
Hold on,
point
hold
at
on,
to
Arwen
see
first.
exactly where the geometric horizon is. It's just not looking like a horizon. That's all.
It doesn't exist as
It's
a
known for
horizon.
200 years.
Go on, Neil. And then John.
I'm saying Brian said the other day, known for 200 years about this geometric horizon not being physical.
I kind of do miss that aspect where they used to say that, oh, well, why would you expect to see curve left to right? Because I thought we lived on a ball. You're literally trying to convince me that I'm seeing curve straight ahead, but I'm not supposed to see it left to right. That's not how a ball works. It's a ball.
Yeah,
There
but
should
to
be
be
curve everywhere.
Well, it's not
But
a
to be
perfect
fair,
ball.
John. Yeah, but technically, when you're like, even your field of view, right? It's always like, yeah, even on the ball, it's still going to be basically a circle around you. But you should see, it should always look, the higher up you go, more and more like you're hanging over a hill the higher you go, right? Because then the curve, the actual curve of the sphere should become more pronounced over distance. So you
If-
shouldn't technically see like left or right curve, but only because of perspective. But
Well, it doesn't
over
really-
a vast distance, if it literally the entire object of supposed sphere Earth just
Wait, I don't
becomes
understand.
distant
How
to
come-
you, then yeah, you should see it.
How come you can't see left? I don't get that.
Well, it doesn't matter if
circle
the
of view.
horizon curve.
No, it's a circle of view. It's just what it does, right?
Right.
And every part over the sphere is pretty much equal geometrically. So you're always
But
just going to be staring at the circle that is your horizon. And it's gonna
Right.
stay
That's
flat.
if you lived on a
please give
sphere,
way.
that would be true. But the geometry's been violated. It doesn't matter what the horizon does now.
Correct. The horizon's not Earth curve. So it doesn't matter what the horizon's doing. Bending, not bending, raising, lowering, who cares? It's not Earth curve. Once it's beyond its geometric limitations, the assertion that it's a hill getting in the way no longer stands. The moment they say refraction, that affirms that it's not a hill getting in the way. It's not Earth curve. The horizon isn't Earth curve. We only have
dear.
one horizon, and the horizon in the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator is a geometric limitation to your view. We've debunked it with the black swan.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and you can only rebut that with refraction, but as soon as you invoke refraction, you immediately lose your original radius value and get stuck in a paradoxical situation. But they'll still do it anyway, because refraction is better than nothing.
Well, no,
Well,
you're
it's
correct,
full
but
refraction.
just one more point, that you lose the R value because you derive the R value from the physical geometric limitation called Earth curve. That's your tangent point to do the maths, tangent point being a straight line to it. But ultimately, prior to you being able to acquire an R value with a straight line tangent point in the Al-Biruni dip to the horizon, that's Earth curve in his measurement, prior to that, you are relinquishing Earth curve as a physical obstruction the moment you say refraction, meaning that you then can't go forth to acquire the R value to assert refraction, which includes an R value when they say refraction, because it's 7/6R terrestrial refraction. Quick plug. Go and subscribe to Brian's Logic. He's just done a series of videos on this, which are excellent in regards to the utilization by ballers of what they call, in name only, refraction. When they say refraction, they don't actually mean light bending as it traverses two different mediums, a la Snell's law, or refraction. It isn't. It's 7/6 of a radius value. It's a way of, in Brian's words, inflating the balloon that is the Earth in their maths, making it a little bit bigger. That's all it's doing.
Right, and it's happening below surface level as well.
Right. The dingleberry's blowing
the
up
math.
below surface level. Correct.
Well, their claim, let's just take their black swan, let's take their claim of refraction for the black swan image. That is not refraction of light. It has nothing to do with light. It has nothing to do with air density or temperature or a change of medium, like Snell's law. That is purely based in an actual extending of the radius value, which is an extending of the diameter and the circumference of the globe. So in the black swan, when they say refraction as a kind of a knotting excuse to explain the black swan, for a start, as has already been pointed out, at that point they're relinquishing all geometry, all prior geometry of the globe, because it all started with and has to start with a measurement to a geometric horizon, which can't be seen because of what they're calling refraction, right? But secondly, if the horizon moves further back from the observer due to what they're calling 7/6 or standard terrestrial refraction, if that happens, then the oil rigs cannot stay, according to 7/6 or what it is, the oil rigs cannot stay where they are. The oil rigs must also move back because it's an extending in the size of their circumference. So that would mean that everything within the observer's view must move back. So the horizon can't move back and have the oil rigs in the foreground of the horizon. If geometrically the oil rigs must be behind the horizon, then if the horizon moves back due to an extension of the radius, then the oil rigs must also move back and be behind the horizon. But they're not. They're in the foreground with the horizon behind it. So it's like a double kill shot of the globe.
Exactly.
Not that it's needed.
Exactly. I give it in the story. You know, you've got a guy stood with a hill. He's stopping in a guest house somewhere, and there's a beautiful view of the hills. And as he looks out, there's a tip of the hill, and in front of that hill, you've got a sheep field, and behind it, as he came up the hill, he noticed there was a farm on the other side of the hill. Now, when he gets up the following day, he's never going to look out the window and see that the hill that was blocking the farm is now behind the farm, with the farm completely visible and the hill behind it. Hills don't behave in that way, and that's what a physical geometric limitation called Earth curve is claimed to do: block boats and buildings. Because it's a hill getting in the way. No, we can show it beyond its physical geometric limitations. And begurking refraction at us affirms that it's not a physical hill getting in the way. It's not Earth curve.
While
you think
trying the okie doke of telling you it's refraction, meaning it's optical, but they put this R value, which should be a geometrically measured radius of the physical sphere Earth. We'll just take that, put it in an equation, and then change that to prove it. How do you prove the very number you're changing in order to prove it?
Well, when they used to say it was a physical geometric limitation and describe it like a hill, do you think that was so it would lead into a topography red herring?
I don't know what you mean when you say lead into a topography red herring. You'll have to expand on what you mean and maybe tell me what the red herring is.
A lot of times when you start talking to them about, you know, the nature of Earth's surface, they'll want to say, well, there's mountains and there's hills and there's valleys. It's not flat, you know. That's what Ruhif kept doing, was confusing.
The same people eventually told us it was locally flat. Those people.
Right. Yeah, those kind of people. But they would confuse the topography with the baseline it's measured against constantly.
Yeah, I guess at that point they were thinking they were getting these elevation angles from the curved surface. Oh wait, they weren't talking about the surface that they were taking elevation angles from, were they?
Let's ask the question.
Yes,
Any
they
evidence that
were.
you can acquire an elevation angle measurement from a curved baseline?
Never.
I mean, you would think so, but that's not reality.
It's
The very
mathematically
people,
possible.
the very people that are telling us that are talking about tangent lines and shit like that that are straight. I don't know if that works out. You got a curved surface.
Well, they have to reinvent geometry in circular fashion, and then that loses the entire point of geometry. So they
Hey,
can't.
you just don't understand.
Well, let's not
Yeah,
forget that they're bending radius lines now to try and claim celestial navigation will work on a globe.
Oh, the
Which is destroying
2022
point.
radius.
Hold on, let Brian get to the end of his point. Say again, Brian.
Yeah, let's not forget that they're actually gone as far as bending radius lines to change the size of a circle of equal altitude from its original size to make somehow force celestial navigation to work on our globe. That's where they're at. Not that
Yeah,
they
and
do
we
that
all know
celestial
radius
navigation,
line is
but these
straight.
people do it.
Well, if the Earth was a sphere and you navigated it as a sphere, why would you have to apply a transformative equation to it?
But this is before the transformative equation. They're doing this prior to that. This is from the very get-go. From the first measurement they make, they take it from the tangent line, their tangent plane, and straight away bend it around the curve of
Right,
their...
well- What do they use to bend it? They got to use some kind of formula.
They're just using the R value. That's all they're doing. They're just bending it with the R value. This is before they ever get to the... We're only at the creation of circles of equal altitude point. But like, you have to go through that process before you ever can even put it on the universal transverse Mercator map. They then take it off of that because it gets to distort it on the universal transverse Mercator map. They then undistort it and put it back on and put it onto a globe. So they are not even getting to the point of using the Haber sign. Like, that's what I'm saying. What they're doing has nothing to do with with the Haber sign formula. Yeah, they're 2 steps away from that. They're both bending radius lines, and they're trying to make this an argument. How much could you have an argument? You're bending a radius line. They don't do any of this in celestial navigation. That's the point.
The new hotness radius? Bendy radius? Is that the new radius of 2022? I remember radius being a straight line from the center to the surface. I don't know. We got a new bendy radius now? That's cute.
Infantometry.
It sounds like listening to you guys over the last few shows. It sounds like there's always a calculation for the globers, like the refraction 706R tends to sort of make the Earth bigger and flatter. So they've got an excuse for that, and then they've got the magnetic declination, which we was talking about, which is another calculation to account for, flat again. They keep putting these calculations in to make the globe flat. They just
Which is why
the globe is flat.
say the globe only exists in the maths.
Yeah, the globe
Because
is flat.
you
It was
could
measured
use
like that.
calculation just to convince people of stuff. I mean, deGrasse Tyson, smoking the grass, said it himself. We know we went to the moon because we were able to calculate how much fuel we would need to get to the moon. Therefore, we know we went to the moon. There you go. So we know Superman exists because we can calculate how fast he can fly around the sphere. Therefore, Superman exists. There you go, Bob's your uncle. It's ridiculous.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
In the sky above my car right now.
A
At
very
an
Albanian
angle.
answer.
It's
I heard it was
at an angle.
93.
It's
I
at
heard it
an
was
angle.
93 million miles away.
Should have asked for the R value first, really, shouldn't I? Given that you're giving an R-based answer. Any evidence of the R value? Earth radius?
The bendy R
Yep.
or the regular R?
They're both bendy, aren't they?
The R on which the bendiness is
no.
based.
I thought a radius was a straight line. I heard we have a new bendy radius now, right, Brian?
Yeah, radio is up bent now, chocolate.
That's what's up. That's cool.
Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
You're going to need that for that.
Stars appearing to move.
How is that evidence of axial rotation? Take us through it.
Well, they tell you because the stars aren't actually moving. It's the Earth that's spinning, and the stars appear to move. They're stationary, and that's proof that the Earth is spinning.
Ah, that's what's up. So that would mean if I were to get off the thing that's moving, causing the things in the sky to appear to be moving, those things in the sky should stop appearing to move, and the thing that I was on that was moving should start to move. Right?
Well, the
Does
alternative.
that happen?
Sorry. The alternative is that you would have to reconcile that the universe is spinning, that there's a galactical axis, and that it is through the Earth somehow.
Galactical axis.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. We can't get the axis for this little ball that we're supposed to be on. But let's try to get the axis for the galaxy. That's what's up.
Right. It's
Is
from
it-
Polaris
isn't
to the
that-
Southern Cross, the galactical axis.
Isn't that where they insert a flat Earth into their heliocentric belief and then have a pizza flying up through a vacuum?
Yeah, but they think the universe is a pizza. They think the universe is flat.
Well, let's ask that question. Any evidence, or any scientific evidence, I should say, of gravity?
Now,
What is gravity?
but we can calculate it.
The bending
So
of
if we can
space-time.
calculate it, just like everything else, then it exists.
Yeah,
There
but
you
you
go.
can only calculate the Newtonian part, right? The Newtonian mechanics.
Anthony, you're causing feedback.
Am I?
I
Sorry.
think so.
I was saying
Can
you
I
can
see the
only,
math?
can-
Can I see the math for that gravity?
yeah, it's Newtonian mechanics based.
No,
I mean,
that's
that's the only thing people ever use, but because it's the only thing they can, right? As soon as you invoke Einstein, it just becomes mathematical mystery and it doesn't actually prove anything. So people just resort to Einstein mechanics always.
Anthony just said if
Because
you
it's
can
the only
maths
thing
it,
they
it's
got.
real. That was the essence of what Anthony just said. If you can maths it, that makes it
Einstein,
real.
Einstein doesn't have any mechanics, though. It's all mathematical, conceptual, and it's all visual, but not actual. It's all apparent.
Okay, so if I've got 2 apples and you ask me for 3 apples and I write down on paper that there's -1 apples at the end of that, does that mean that you end up with 3 apples?
Well, depends on who you ask. If you ask a baller, mathematically, of course, -1 apples, Nathan. Are you retarded?
Yeah, they just owe you 1 apple.
Yeah. That's
Or they'll tell
totally
you,
acceptable.
I get an IOU or something.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
literally been told like, I could give you the 2, but then, I just owe you 1. Like, no. I'm asking you, can you take 3 away from me if I've only got 2? No, yeah, the math, yeah, sure.
It's funny because this feels like a 2019 argument, or maybe 16. How far back do we go? This is a cyclical thing. It's like the weather. Every now and again, you get that one hot day, and everyone says global warming. Well, this is that same effect. It's like we've gone in a full circle again. We're back to a variety of 2016, 2019, 2021.
How do they explain the Einstein's theory in relationship to the moon being responsible for the tides?
They don't,
They don't.
because they can't calculate it.
We seem to have sidestepped. It's a bit like Anthony was explaining this to me on Skype the other day. You ask somebody a question, they answer a different question, and then what? We move on. Scientific evidence is the reason we're asking the question because it's related to the physical and natural world, right? Physics, that's science, as opposed to mathematics. That's conceptual. That's like language. I can describe giving Anthony 3 apples. Yeah? Forget about -1 apples. I can just describe giving them to him. I gave Anthony 3 apples. Now, contextually, someone could come along after the fact and say, well, that was hypothetically speaking. Another use of language. But at no point has anybody got any bloody apples. Now, if you're dealing with apples, that's physics. If you're dealing with the physics of how apples grow, that's something that science can deal with. That's an effect. But dealing with -1 apples, conceptually, is a language thing. It's not a physics thing. So the question is, any scientific, putting it squarely in the physics realm, evidence of gravity, not maths.
Well, Nathan, the problem
Well,
is
what about-
we have to define what gravity. You'd have to define what it is you're asking about, because it's
Gravity.
It seems to me there's more than one definition for it. Even though we know there's a current one, there's an older one, and there's another one called specific gravity. So, which gravity are you looking for scientific evidence for? Is it just for any of them?
Whatever you want to call
The one
gravity.
that is not really a force, but you can think of it as a force.
How can you have scientific evidence for something that is not clearly defined? You don't even know what it is you're trying to prove.
Just make it up.
Well, what if we use a hypothetical medium, and we can say light's a wave using the convention we measure one of its phenomena with, and then we'll say it's all waves within this hypothetical medium. How about that? Can we agree on that?
Always being within a hypothetical medium still doesn't put it within the realm of physics, does it?
Hypothetically.
Hypothetical physics.
Hypothetically physical.
What's
No.
the DV, Nathan?
DV?
You're asking for scientific evidence. What's the DV?
We
That's
find
beyond
no
me. I don't know.
hypothesis.
There is no phenomena for them to claim. I'm not a baller. I'm asking because there isn't one.
Well, I can't help you then if you can't even give me a DV.
Are you asking me to give you it? I'm saying gravity is something that's discussed. It's claimed to do all sorts of magical things. Now, I'm not claiming it, but what I am saying is there's no physical evidence for it, let alone science. But that's what it's claimed to have backing it, science. So let's see, based on the claim that the scientists to back the claim of gravity, whatever it may be, I want to see that science. That's why I'm asking for it.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying give me the DV, because if you can't give me a DV, then how can I produce a yay or an A on the scientific evidence?
That's beyond me, Brian. I can't answer that for them. But I'm not the one claiming gravity, am I?
I got
Just
one.
don't and say you did. That seems to work out for them.
Planes flying backwards.
That's the scientific
Yes.
evidence of gravity. When who's observing planes flying backwards?
Right. That you observe planes flying backwards from this hypothetical medium. Okay.
Back to the hypothetical
could-
medium we're not in.
Right. But you would have to be there to see them fly backwards, but they just seem to be conserving their linear momentum on Earth. But that's
Okay.
actually them flying backwards in a hypothetical medium.
But in reality,
They're not.
that we're not.
Well,
Okay.
We don't really have to work at the really is level.
Correct, Chocolate. We don't have to work at the really is level. Exactly. You got it.
Gotcha. Here on
Yeah,
Flat Earth
Nathan, you
Debate,
should be
on
asking
a
for-
really is level, I'm asking for any scientific evidence of gravity. At the really
Yeah,
is
but
level.
Nathan, sorry. Ask again, Nathan. Ask again. Sorry.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
But yeah, your question, you should be your question is flawed. What you should be asking for is there any sciencey type stuff that will support gravity?
You mean pseudosciencey like stuff?
You know, sciencey stuff. You know, like calculations and Venus and all this kind of thing.
But
You
and
know,
if it's not
I was
happening in
listening to,
physical reality, if it's not happening in physical reality, there can be no scientific evidence for it.
Yeah,
But
but
when
the
you
problem
play
with
with
Nathan's question has too much of a high standard attached to it. That's what's wrong.
We get claimed, there's claimed to be science for gravity. I don't see how asking for it is a too high a standard. That's not unreasonable, is it?
What? Well, if you can't even give me a DV, you know what I mean? You're asking for a lot and you won't give anyone a DV. What can they do?
Third attempt.
Dare you?
What Brian's trying to do is force me, the person asking for the scientific evidence, for a claim I don't make, to give him a dependent variable for a claim I don't make. And I'm asking the question to elucidate the fact that there is no scientific evidence and indeed no observed phenomena, aka dependent variable or DV, which is what I'm being asked for. Well, I'm not making the claim, third time. So why would I accept this burden of proof reversal fallacy to give you a phenomena for something that I say doesn't exist? Now, if somebody from the audience hears this and goes, "What, is he stupid? I know what the phenomena would be in gravity's example." Well, okay, tell me. Feel free. There's a link below. Join the Gilded server and tell us what the phenomena is.
Apparent orbits. There you go. There's your DV.
things falling
After all the
down.
questions, they didn't even have a DV.
Hold on. DV.
Apparent
hold on.
orbits.
Apparent orbits. That's not a DV.
Yes. It's an effect.
Appearing, but not actually, is apparent. That's what apparent means. When you say apparent, is it a physically occurring effect that we can study and vary something to cause it? Or is it something that merely looks like it's happening but isn't really happening? Because that's what apparent means.
Well, you can see stuff moving in the sky. So that could that not be an apparent?
Okay, yes, I can see stuff moving in the sky. So, given that the question is about scientific evidence of gravity, are you saying that the dependent variable is stuff moving in the sky?
Yeah, and the cause would be space-time, the curvature of space-time by a mass.
The curvature of space-time. Time isn't real. Time isn't physical. Time isn't something you can vary and manipulate.
Yeah, but it's about it curves
Profe-
with space to cause the orbits.
Professor Phil Bellin told me that to count the amount of is what manipulate means.
No. Vary. To vary and manipulate is exactly as it suggests. Manipulation and variation of something that you think causes an effect that you're studying. So far, the effect that we're studying is the apparent quote-unquote orbits. Now, orbit itself is a begging the question fallacy. We haven't even got there yet, but nevertheless, the apparent orbits, and then when push came to shove, Brian described that actually as, well, the lights in the sky move, don't they? That's what we've got so far.
Yeah,
Right,
but we can manipulate it via the sun, because we know the sun is a really big mass. So if we are,
What?
if we are orbiting the sun, then it's because the sun has a gravitational force.
Oh, you messed up. You went there. You were doing so good until you went to the sun.
Well, we have to manipulate something, John.
What? When you change the
Sun.
definition of manipulate to count the amount of, then all you have to do is mathematically deduce a radial function to your presupposed orbits, and Bob's your uncle.
That's what I said. But your orbits are begging the question fallacy. To Brian's credit, he did actually say he got this notion from Phil Bell. So, vary and manipulate, count. That's Phil's shtick, isn't it? He's not really got his head screwed on properly in that regard, has he?
Yeah, he doesn't know what manipulate means. Physically alter.
In that,
Nathan, there is no. Sorry.
in the discussion that QE was taking part with Sleeping Warrior, and didn't one of the astronomers claim change the filter on his telescope? That was an independent variable.
That may be, but without having to link this together for you, you're saying that if I vary the filter on a telescope, that's my independent variable. That will
think
cause an
that-
effect to happen.
That is an actual claim that was out there from a baller, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, it seems like the most appropriate time to ask this next question. Any single viable hypothesis, given the low standards we've just discussed, from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Yes, then.
What galaxy was it?
What? Hold
Yeah,
on.
what
Adam
galaxy was
first.
that,
Hold
Adam?
on. I had a yes. Go ahead, Adam.
If filter A, then red dwarf. If filter B, yeah, then what? Blue dwarf. You know what I mean? So basically, what the implication from the astronomers is change the filter, changes the effect of the sky. What's out there changes the physical matter. So if I put a different filter on, this terraforming somewhere, as the star will change its designation.
Based on you varying a filter.
Yeah.
This is nonsense.
So, well, best I could do though with one of their quotes.
Anybody in the Gilded server? Anybody got any comment on this? Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
No, there's not,
Well-
because they're unable to vary and manipulate things in the sky.
Gravity.
You can just beg the question, or what's going on, Brian?
That's the what I've manipulated the thing. Just to respond to one there. I've manipulated the thing in the
Define
sky.
gravity.
It's changed. It looks different because I've changed the filter.
Yeah, Nathan.
It
You
just
know,
looks
gravity.
different.
No. So, step one, observe natural phenomena. Well,
Red dwarf.
no, because the effect has been induced by a change that you have created the phenomena with, as opposed to seeing the phenomena, going, I wonder what caused that, and then varying something that you think actually causes it, and then your variation causing it. But you're not looking at a red dwarf and going, I wonder what caused that. You're going, I'm looking at the sky, but if I put this filter in, now I can call that a red dwarf. Correct?
Yeah. If I put a different filter in, it can be a different type of star. I suppose I'm seeing something different. So I've varied something and I've got different results.
But you haven't caused the effect because you're inducing the effect rather than seeing an effect and seeing if you can cause the effect with something that you vary.
Define cause, Nathan.
You're joking. You want me to
Well,
look
that's
up
what they're going
what
to
the dictionary
look,
definition of cause is? I'll do it. It's all right.
I can.
If I'm going to play
define
ball
it.
or Brian, I'm going to have to use everything in my arsenal.
I've caused it to look different.
Yeah, but you didn't see it changing or becoming a different colour and establish why it changed colour. You're saying I can just cause it to change colour. It's like saying the grass turns brown. Okay, yeah, that's a phenomena. Yeah, something's happened. Something's occurred. And then you go, I know what caused it. Well, what caused it? This brown filter when I look at the green grass. See?
That's it.
I caused it to go brown. No. A person or thing that gives rise to an action, phenomena, or condition. Cause. A principle, aim, or movement to which one is committed.
I committed to changing the filter.
And making the grass go brown. Because that's the cause
You
of
don't know
brown
the
grass.
first thing about science.
I'm
Nathan.
done with that now. Sorry.
You don't know the first thing about science, Nathan.
Oh, that's an excellent rebuttal, Brian. It's as good as a baller's response, I suppose.
Brian's globe logic, all right.
I don't know why I'm appealing to more ballers to come in to tell us how we should be on the right path to sphere belief. When even when my own friendly side do it, I get irritated.
Unban Rumpus. Unban Rumpus.
No, it's never going to happen. Why? So you can come and lie to the audience some
Aw.
more.
Because
Well,
it's
it's
so
because they
entertaining.
It's because they should be coming in, telling us how stupid we are, right? Earth is obviously a ball the whole world knows. Science has proven it. The whole body of science. Where are they all?
Where's your flat Earth model, Nathan?
I didn't claim I'd got a model.
I will say that the flat Earth model is at present being used by heliocentrists. So they're right. We don't have a model.
Yeah.
They're using it.
Sorry, just to make one minor correction to that, John. A flat Earth model is being used by ballers to assert we're on a sphere. It's called the celestial sphere model. Because there is a flat Earth model and others like it, doesn't make it my flat Earth model, nor do I believe we live on a model. That's a reification fallacy. We don't. They are often useful, and in this case, a flat Earth model is being used, and therefore useful, for convincing an entire world that they live on a sphere when they actually live on a flat plane, as used by the model they used to claim you're on a sphere with. Right, John?
Yep. So when they say, show me your flat Earth model, but they're actually using it, a flat Earth model, to convince you you're on a sphere. Yeah.
Yeah, the celestial sphere model is what you get your latitude, longitude, general navigational maps. That all is derived from the celestial sphere. And what's the celestial sphere, I hear you ask? It's a flat Earth model.
No, it's not. My brother told me yesterday, you moron. All maps come from a sphere. They all come from the globe. What's wrong with you, Neil?
The globe came from the celestial sphere, which is a flat Earth model.
He told me to show him proof. And when I explained it to him, he still denied it. So they're in denial. That's what it is. You
I have
know?
a picture of the globe burger. Here you go. Here's the celestial sphere. It's wrapped around a ball that you call Earth and think you're standing on. And the navigation method is done from the center of that ball on a flat plane. You call it the equatorial plane, and you think it's the outside edge of a sphere. If you chop the world in half that you think you're standing on the outside edge of and put you in the middle of a disc that's flat, that's the celestial sphere. You don't actually need the globe around the flat plane. You just need the dome of the heavens around you on a flat plane. That's how it works, and that's how your flat Earth, that's how your globe Earth came to pass from a flat Earth model that the globe's derived from.
He agrees that they take all their measurements from the center, but he doesn't understand what the problem is with that.
He's not standing at the center, and that center is depicted with a globe Earth that's surplus to requirements in that model. You don't need it. You can apply the Haversine formula. John's already asked this question, but it might be worth reiterating at this point, if you don't mind, John.
If the Earth is a sphere and you navigate it as such, then why would you need a transformative equation called the Haversine
Ask your brother
to
that.
turn it into one?
Ask him, why would you need to apply a Haversine formula?
Sphere.
Why would you need to ask your brother why you'd need to apply a Haversine formula, which is a transformative equation to turn the flat plane into a sphere? Why would that be necessary if you're already on a sphere? It wouldn't.
Neil, ask your brother why they need to bring the angle to the center. What is the antecedent that's required for that angle to be brought to the center of the globe? What is, I'm asking you now, what is that antecedent for that angle to be brought to the center of the globe?
I'll ask him.
No, I'm asking you to answer that. So I want to make sure you give him the right answer. What is the antecedent
I'm in the
for
middle
that
of the
angle?
delivery. Hold on, I'm in the middle of the delivery.
Brian's on a whole reversal of burden tack today, it seems.
I just tell the audience.
Go on.
The antecedent for that angle to be brought to the center is for that angle to be measured from a horizontal plane that is we call the surface. So without that horizontal plane being available to measure this angle, you wouldn't be able to bring it to the center, mathematically to the center of a sphere. It has to be measured on a real 3D horizontal plane in reality first, before you can then beg the question, and bring it to the center of a sphere.
Did I
I'd
hear
say we're
sphere?
just turning
What
the
sphere?
sphere into a super sphere.
Well,
That's the only reason I see you're changing something from what it is to what it already is. It's crazy.
well, John summed it up earlier when he said that when you're taking a line, calling it surface level, and drawing a ball Earth below it, right? You've got Brian's description of the tangent plane they necessitate to A, get the measurement from, and then B, move it to the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth at the equatorial plane. Well, all of those processes require you to measure off a flat plane, but also affirm what John said earlier about the Earth curve being below surface level.
Well, if you're doing the real world measurement first across a real world horizontal plane, let's just take away the horizontal plane part for a second. If you must measure this first on the surface, and you're claiming that it's a globe, then there should be no reason to have to bring that angle to the center. Same way as there should be no reason for a transformative equation. What reason would you have to bring that to the center of a sphere if you've already measured the angle on the surface of the sphere? Why would you need to do that?
That's like why would you need the dingleberry? Like why would you put a straight line on top of the ball with the ball hanging underneath it? Why would you do that if you're using the ball for what the ball is for?
Why would you need the center of the ball if you're able to measure all these angles from the surface? That would be the real question,
Right.
wouldn't it?
If Santiago wasn't to be touched and your orders are always followed,
Then why would it be necessary?
to transfer?
Sorry.
I go ahead. You got the English accent. It sounds better when you say it.
Well, if Santiago wasn't to be touched and your orders are always followed, then why would it be necessary to transfer Santiago off the base? You ordered the code red, didn't you?
What is that a reference to?
It's a few good men.
Oh, okay.
You can't handle the truth.
I should rewatch that movie.
Yeah, it gets him cornered, like we get people cornered here. Tie 'em up in their own nonsense. Go on, Brian. Sorry.
No, I stepped on you, Nathan. I'm doing that all day. I apologize. I'm just saying it's a good title for the show today. A few good men.
I agree.
People don't like the truth, which we try and tell.
Or maybe the show tomorrow, because I kind of like today's show title card.
It's killing the live numbers. So having a show that craps the bed because of a hardware issue, following it up with another show immediately afterwards, it goes out to even less people. So there's like 60 people watching, which is just heartbreaking. But there we go. Such is life with technical issues. Tomorrow's another day.
Yeah, but the title card makes it worth it, you know.
Well, I mention it because a
Is
few
it the
good
one with
men.
your face on it, Arwen? Is that it? That says I'm right. Is that why you like it?
Ah, that's probably the
Yep.
reason for the lone live viewers. It's Arwen's face on the thumbnail.
Got him.
No, I don't think so. It's just doing, I know from past experience, if you do a live stream, then immediately do another one straight after, it just won't get pushed out to your subscribers even. So hardly anybody probably even realizes that we're running a live stream right now, which is heartbreaking. But
Yeah, the problem is that as soon as you cut off a live stream right at the beginning, is that everybody's gonna basically rearrange how they're scheduling their day
yeah,
because of that,
exactly.
and then you can't get them back.
Well, it's just YouTube
It
won't
might
promote
be
it.
fewer numbers.
Well, YouTube won't promote it. They just won't put it into people's subscriptions feed if they've already waited for a live stream. They've gone and watched it, and then 2 minutes after it started, I've cut the stream because my iGPU is having a RAM issue. You know. But there we go. Tomorrow's another day.
Yeah, it might be fewer numbers, but shout out to those numbers. Shout out to you guys.
That's why it's appropriate.
What
A
if-
few good men and women watching. Smash the super chat.
Well, I don't think this is a bad show. This is a good show. And then people will be happy if they do tune into it, even though it is running a little bit off from the normal schedule.
Heartbreaking, but there we go. At least I think I say this every time I solve this issue. Last time it was because there was a chipset update. This time it's because my RAM's too fast. when it craps the bed tomorrow, it'll be something else. But yeah, I'll give up on it. If it does it again, it'll be its last opportunity. So if it can't keep the show running on the iGPU for whatever reason, I'll just figure out how to run it on the E-cores of this 12th gen CPU instead. Whoever's making that noise.
It's going to be fine. Everything will be fine. I'm manifesting it for you and everybody else is. It's going to be perfect from now onwards.
We'll clasp hands together and sing Kumbaya. Maybe pray for the computer to Allah.
I was going to do some kumbaya stuff too. The whole topic we're talking about now, whether the Earth's a sphere or not, right? That's pretty much settled. I mean, is there any more rebuttals?
Got execute.
There's many more
excite.
ways to explore and on how to think of the Earth as a globe. So yeah, it's not going away anytime soon. But the technical arguments have been pretty much settled. I agree.
We've got execute.
Okay.
Is a newbie in Gilded. Hello. Hello, execute. Hello, Nathan. It's really good to be here. Oh, I'm glad you've joined.
She's messaged that her mic isn't working.
Fair enough. Well, at least we're seeing the dregs of people starting to join in our very new Gilded server. If you're watching this live, because it's not at a regular scheduled time, because I had a technical issue, and you're unfamiliar with the show, there's a link below the show, and you can join the Gilded server and challenge anything that anybody's saying. So if you hear something that you find objectionable, science isn't something physical, it's just a conceptual description of an idea that time's a physically manipulatable thing. Yeah, you can come in and say, nah, space-time's real. Geodesics, of course. You can tell us how wrong we are when we tell you there's no scientific evidence of gravity. On that note, any evidence you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
Well, if gravity was a force, then yes.
No. You got your ball wrong. No, it wouldn't actually. Just if gravity was a force, it would still not be enough to actually contain the gas. There would have to be a little extra edge. We have to invent something, conjure something that would make that possible, because just gravity being this force over a distance is not going to do it.
Well, that's the claim, though. That's the official claim, that gravity as a force.
But what a
Which gravity
dumbass
are you
claim.
talking about?
You mean, come on.
Well, it would be a pseudo force.
Well, it is when it comes to gas pressure. It's still the official claim when it comes to the gas pressure. So they still claim a force of gravity when it comes to gas pressure, but they don't claim a force of gravity when it comes to other things.
Guys, we all know gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as if it's a force.
Right, it's a pseudo force. It's reference frame dependent, and the reference frame it's dependent upon is the vacuum of space-time, or that conceptual medium.
To be fair, if you're going to exclude gravity from being a force, then potentially it could actually start to, because of the freedom of how you're going to write the story, it could potentially contain the gas pressure, but it would have to be by some other mysterious way, like, for example, a time-space bending gravity field that would simply disable the gas from continuing its timely journey into the expansion of the universe or something, right? But regular force-based gravity like Newtonian, it's not going to do it. It can't do it. It doesn't have the capacity to do anything like that.
Right, before this live show ends, I've got to do a quick apology to Arwin, but after the super chat. So it says, Godzilla 37, I'm here specifically because I saw Arwin's face on the thumbnail. Can't believe that thousands didn't show. So I'm sorry, Arwin, I was wrong. The thumbnail isn't the reason.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Godzilla.
Shout out to Godzilla.
Also, shout out to Chow Yun Cat, who said, "Salvation is found in Jesus Christ, for there is no other name under heaven given to mankind by which we must be saved." Acts 4:12. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat, Chow Yun Cat. Really appreciate the support. Len Lennox says,
Not even
technical
near the grass,
difficulties
Tyson?
with a rolly eye face. Indeed, Len Lennox. 2 months worth. We'll get there in the end.
That includes technical difficulties, Nathan.
Hmm?
That name is above technical difficulties too.
A few good men, did you say? Say again?
I said the name of Jesus Christ is above technical difficulties too.
You're saying
Remember
I can
the
blame
super chat you
Jesus?
had?
I don't follow what you mean.
No, I mean that name is above technical difficulties. So that name is above technical difficulties. That means Jesus can take care of it. That name can take care of it.
The name that I shout out during technical difficulties.
Well,
Yeah, but usually you say he's wept or something.
remember
That's a terrible.
how the
That's
quote.
a terrible blasphemy. I should never say that. I forget that I
Let me
say
put
it.
it like this.
It's one of the worst things you
Let me
can
put
say.
it like this. Let me put it like this. If he said there's no other name that can be delivered, right? Than the name of Jesus Christ, well, no other name can deliver you out of technical difficulties than the name of Jesus Christ too. And you can apply that to all kinds of things. Follow?
I do follow.
Okay. So there you go.
I'll pray for my RAM configuration. I'll pray for my memory controller.
Yeah.
I'll pray for the law of
In the name
thermodynamics.
of Jesus. Remember that.
Do
That
you know what
That's the
brings
key.
back
That's the
memories
easy
right now?
name. Jesus.
Smooth, just for the record.
Do you know what brings back memories right now while Nathan's praying for his RAM and praying for his graphics card and whatnot? It's that scene out of Fast and the Furious where they're giving grace and he thanks the Lord for his turbo boosts and his nitro boosts and all that. That's Nathan right now.
You, Jesus.
Hey, Nathan,
for my RAM.
thank you, Nathan. I do pray for your show and that things work out at the end. So I got you covered too.
Well, that's brilliant. With that, I will say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. A massive thank you to today's Gilded and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for tuning in, live streaming, smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, get there in the end, and all that good stuff. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on a premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.